Excuse me. All right. Hmm? Oh, you see it? Hold on. We good. We live. Okay. Shabbat shalom, everyone. We're gonna start off in prayer. Get going. Gracious Av in heaven, we bless your holy name. We give you Torah for this privilege and this opportunity to be in your house on this holy Shabbat Yom, oh Yah. We give you Torah and praise, Father, for your great provisions, oh Yah, for your peace, for salvation, for deliverance, oh Yah, and for all the benefits that you have for us who are your people, El. Told Yah, and we told you for calling us into the fold, bringing us out of darkness into your marvelous light. We pray right now that you will look on us, send forth your spirit to give us understanding, to lead us, and to guide us. And we pray that you will give us that heart, a heart of understanding and a heart that is receptive to all of your will, oh Yah. We love you and we praise you, oh Yah. We just ask you to teach us how to implement what we learn and bear fruit from it 100-fold, oh Yah. We love you and we praise you. In the mighty name of Yahshua Mashiach, we pray. Amen. So, yeah.
Shalom. Hey, told y'all. Told out for that prayer. Told out for that prayer. How is everyone? Told my old rejoicing. Kang. Kang, I hope everybody had a wonderful week in this harvest season. I hope that you were able to reap your harvest, your portion this week in health and peace. I certainly did. I'm praising y'all for it. I'm glad to be in the land of the living. We are going to open up to Numbers chapter 8. Numbers chapter 8. Yep.
The name for this portion is Beha Lokta. And it means when you set up or when you rise.
All right. Thank you all for bearing with us. You know, we had immersion, baptism this morning, a beautiful occasion. So we're grateful for Torah, grateful for the souls who entered into the newness of life. Yes. Remember, the word says, if any person be in Yashak, Mashika, or the King James Version read, if any man be in Christ, behold, he's a new creature. Behold, all things are new. So we thank you. We thankful for the newness of life. So we're going to open up to Numbers chapter 8. Numbers chapter 8. And we read from Numbers chapter 8 through chapter 12. All right. So I'm gonna say this again real fast, not to be long. So some of you might hear us use some words that are unfamiliar when we're up here. Um, like when we say Yah, we mean what's commonly called God. And I'm just gonna use one example. When we say Bethel, that's not so unusual, but that's usually pronounced Bethel. Yah is the name for our power, the power of Israel, commonly called God. We say El sometimes also. And then Bethel is Bethel. That's the house of El, or the house of God in the gate of heaven. And then you hear us say Yashak. When we say Yashak, that's who the world refers to as Jesus, the Christ. We say Yashak. And then we say Mashika, which means Messiah. So when you hear us say Yashak, Mashika, we're not trying to be confusing. We're not trying to be deep. This if you read the sign behind us, it says Bethel Temple and College, but this is also a learning institution where we try to, and it's a movement of restoration where we try to get back to the original as close as possible. And through the research that was done by those who came before us and still continues to this day, we use some of those names that we discovered, one of them being Yashak. But I'm going to show you that we have justification. I'm going to go to Psalm 68 and 4. I'm sorry, not to be long. Go to Psalms. So we can see that, we not just coming up with these things. Everything that we do, we have a biblical basis for it. And some things we went outside of the Bible only to support the Bible. But I'm going to go to Psalms chapter 68. Am I right about that, Minister Yosef? I think it's 4.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read Psalm 68 and 4. This is dealing when you hear us say, Yah, Yah, Yah. I'm going to show you how it's in the Bible. All right. Psalm 68 and 4 says, sing unto God, which I would say sing unto Yah, or right? It says, sing praises to his name, extol him that rideth upon the heavens by his name, Jah, and rejoice before him. Now, that's a whole other study, but that J in the Hebrew would be a Y. So this is why we say Yah, right? And we'll probably end up doing a study over here. And we also say Yehovah, and I won't go there now, but in Exodus, Moses, Yah revealed his personal name to Moses, and that name was Yehovah. It says Jehovah, but it's Yehovah. So I just wanted to give that account again, because we don't want to be confusing, and we want to explain why we do those things. So thank you for bearing with me. You got something else on that?
No, I was just to add when he read that in 68 and 4, when it's Yah, that's some people would say that's the poetic form of Yah, but that right here it says sing praises, so it's letting you know that's the praise name for the Lord, for
Totally,
Yah,
yeah.
which is Yah.
Totally, yeah. All right, now back to Numbers. We're going to start Numbers chapter 8. And we're in the book of Numbers, or a bit midbar. And this is continuing on the wilderness, when they're in the wilderness. All right, and it says, and the Jehovah spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Aaron, and say unto him, when thou lightest the lamps, the 7 lamps shall give light over against the candlestick. And Aaron did so. He lighted the lamps thereof over against the candlestick, and as the Jehovah commanded Moses. And this work of the candlestick was of beaten gold, unto the shaft thereof, unto the flowers thereof was beaten work, according unto the pattern which the Jehovah had showed Moses. So he made the candlestick. Now, the candlestick, the way the Bible is phrasing it here, when we say candlestick, at least in my mind, I picture one stem with one candle. We commonly call that a menorah. It was explained, the description of it is found in Exodus. So that's, the Bible refers to it as a candlestick, but that candlestick is actually a piece of furniture or an instrument. It stands about 4 foot tall, and it's about a couple of feet wide also. And it's a piece of beaten work out of gold. It's made of pure gold. And so it stands up. It's just as big as this camera stand, but wider. It has 4 branches on it, so to speak, and that's where it holds the candles. Each branch holds a candle, and it's found within the tabernacle, and it's to be lit every single day. So he's given Aaron, and it's lit. It's lit by the high priest, and it's supposed to continuously burn at all times. Verse 5, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, take the Levites from among the children of Israel and cleanse them. And thus shalt thou do unto them to cleanse them. Sprinkle water of purifying upon them, and let them shave all their flesh, and let them wash their clothes, and so make themselves clean. Then let them take a young bullock with his meat offering, even fine flour mingled with oil, and another young bullock shalt thou take for a sin offering. And thou shalt bring the Levites before the tabernacle of the congregation, and thou shalt gather the whole assembly of the children of Israel together. And you shall bring the Levites before the Lord, and the children of Israel shall put their hands upon the Levites. And Aaron shall offer the Levites before the Jehovah for an offering of the children of Israel, that they may execute the service of the Jehovah. And the Levites shall lay their hands upon the heads of the bullocks, and thou shalt offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering unto the Jehovah to make an atonement for the Levites. And you shall set the Levites before Aaron and before his sons, and offer them for an offering unto the Jehovah. Thus shalt thou separate the Levites from among the children of Israel, and the Levites shall be mine. And after that shall the Levites go in to do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, and thou shalt cleanse them and offer them for an offering. For they are wholly given unto me from among the children of Israel. Instead of such as open every womb, even instead of the firstborn of all the children of Israel, have I taken them unto me. For all the firstborn of the children of Israel are mine, both man and beast. On the day that I smote every firstborn in the land of Egypt, I sanctified them for myself. And I have taken the Levites for all the firstborn of the children of Israel. And I have given the Levites as a gift to Aaron and to his sons from among the children of Israel to do the service of the children of Israel in the tabernacle of the congregation, and to make an atonement for the children of Israel, that there be no plague among the children of Israel when the children of Israel come nigh unto the sanctuary. You got anything? Yeah, that's 5 minutes, you'll say.
Yeah, well, what I wanted to just point out is several things in here that we kind of touched on. One, when you go back and you look in the New Testament, you of course you hear the concept baptism, but this was a type of baptism right here, where the sprinkling of the water with the Levites, they had to be cleansed as well. So Yah gave Moses that commission to do that as well. But this also shows that this was a temporal system, because Christ, our Messiah, the Mashiach, he didn't have to be cleansed, and that's the perfect priesthood. But this one was temporal because they had to be cleansed. So this was more like a um that this shows that this part of the law was a temporal system, law of the Levites, not the law that was given to us to like the Shabbat, the keeping the Sabbath and so forth. That's permanent forever. But this part right here, this is evidence of a temporal system, which was the Levites.
Okay.
And they had the role of the to make the atonement for the people as far as killing of animals for sin sacrifice. That was temporal as well. We no longer do that. So that was something that stood out, because those priests were not, of course, they had to be cleansed. They had sin as well. So that just shows you that that was temporary. The animal sacrificial system for sin was temporary as well. And the other thing was, um, I read we just read that it said that the children of Israel laid their hands upon the Levites. So when you go into the New Testament, it talked about the laying on of hands by the presbytery and so forth. This was already being done back then. So that just shows you that, when we look at what we commonly call the New Testament, everything, the only Bible they had when was the Old Testament. Period. When Christ and the disciples and all of them walked this earth, there was no New Testament. All they had was the Old. So everything that they were doing, the ideas, the concepts that they received, all came from here. And that's another sign right here, the laying on of the hands. They were doing it in the New Testament. But where did it come from? It came from right here. So just that was something that stood out, and I wanted to share so that we can have that mind, like, okay, this is, what we're doing now today is something new. No, it all came from what was already originally written.
Okay. Okay. More.
No, no.
Also, a thing to notice here is you see the Levites were one of the tribes of Yisrael, the children of Yisrael, that the Creator set aside to strictly do ministry work, so to speak, service work. They wanted to have a trade. They had no source of income. Their concern was strictly doing ministry work and to assist the priests, the priesthood, Aaron's sons, which were the priests. And Aaron was a Levite also. So much like he set the Levites aside, he's done the same thing with the children of Israel. He took us out of the nations. So out of his children that he set aside, he took a tribe. Well, out of the whole nation, the whole world, he took a people. He took a people, right, and cleansed them, right? He cleansed us. He cleansing us now by the law, statute, and commandments, or as the Bible put it, we cleanse by the washing of the water of the word. So taking that word into us, we get our minds and our hearts cleansed, and then we're set aside from the nations to assist Yashak, the Messiah, in his priesthood, okay? And so then, though we do still have some worldly concerns, really and truthfully, our primary concern is supposed to be ministry. That's why he says, cast your burdens upon me and come into me, so we don't have to be overburdened with work and these things, so that he can meet all of our needs. He'll provide for us, much like the children of Israel or the Levites got their provision from the nation of Israel. We go into the world and we get our provision from the world through the blessings that Yah put on us. But our main concern is not getting the provision for our food, clothing, and shelter. Our main concern that he chose us to be in a covenant relationship is to assist him in the ministry, which is spreading the word and the covenant across the nation, so more souls will be saved, if that's clear.
Okay.
Okay. We in we in Numbers chapter 8, we have verse 20. And Moses and Aaron and all the congregation of the children of Israel did to the Levites according unto all that the Yahweh commanded Moses concerning the Levites, so did the children of Israel unto them. And the Levites were purified, and they washed their clothes, and Aaron offered them as an offering before the Yahweh, and Aaron made an atonement for them to cleanse them. And after that went the Levites in to do their service in the tabernacle of the congregation before Aaron and before his sons, as the Yahweh had commanded Moses concerning the Levites, so did they unto them. And the Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, this is that belongeth unto the Levites from 20 and 5 years old and upward, they shall go in to wait upon the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. And from the age of 50 years they shall cease waiting upon the service thereof, and shall serve no more, but shall minister with their brethren in the tabernacle of the congregation to keep the charge, and shall do no service. Thus shalt thou do unto the Levites touching their charge. Chapter 9. And the Yahweh spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the first month of the second year after they were come out of the land of Egypt, saying, let the children of Israel also keep the Passover at his appointed season. In the 14th day of this month at even, ye shall keep it in his appointed season, according to all the rites of it, and according to all the ceremonies thereof shall ye keep it. So notice now they've been in the wilderness. How long they've been in the wilderness? Because when did they leave the land of Egypt? They've been in there a year. It says in the first month of the second year after they would come out of the land of Egypt. So Passover has come back around. They left, during the Feast of Passover when the ordinance was in Exodus chapter 12. They left during Passover season. And now you see it's been a year. Passover has come back around. So they're getting ready to keep it again. And mind you, they haven't been walking for a year. In fact, most of this time they were stationary. Remember, Moses went up twice. So they camped. Moses went up twice for 40 days, right? So that's 80 days. So that's what, a month and a half right there, right? That's 2.5 months, just about. That's almost 3 months. And then, so most of this time they've been stationary. Moses came down when he was giving the instructions. So they haven't been walking in the wilderness for a year. They've been, since they left the land of Egypt, they've been in the wilderness for a year. But the majority of the time they've been camped out stationary. But they're getting ready to get mobile again, okay? All right, verse 4. And Moses spake unto the children of Israel that they should keep the Passover. And they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the first month at even in the wilderness of Sinai, according to all that the Yahweh commanded Moses, so did the children of Israel. And there were certain men who were defiled by the dead body of a man, that they could not keep the Passover on that day. And they came before Moses and before Aaron on that day. And those men said unto him, we are defiled by the dead body of a man. Wherefore are we kept back, that we may not offer an offering of the Yahweh in his appointed season among the children of Israel? And Moses said unto them, stand still, and I will hear what the Yahweh command concerning you. And the Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if any man of you or your posterity shall be unclean by reason of a dead body, or be in a journey afar off, yet he shall keep the Passover unto the Yahweh. The 14th day of the second month at even they shall keep it, and eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. They shall leave none of it until the morning, nor break any bone of it. According to all the ordinances of the Passover, they shall keep it. But the man that is clean and is not in a journey and forbeareth to keep the Passover, even the same soul shall be cut off from among his people, because he brought not the offering of the Yahweh in his appointed season. That man shall bear his sin. And if a stranger shall sojourn among you and will keep the Passover unto the Yahweh, according to the ordinance of the Passover, and according to the manner thereof, so shall he do. Ye shall have one ordinance both for the stranger and for him that was born in the land. You got anything there, Minister Yosef?
No.
Verse 15. And on the day that the tabernacle was reared up, the cloud covered the tabernacle, namely the tent of the testimony, and at even there was upon the tabernacle as it were the appearance of fire until the morning. So it was always, the cloud covered it by day, and the appearance of fire by night. And when the cloud was taken up from the tabernacle, then after that the children of Israel journeyed, and in the place where the cloud abode, there the children of Israel pitched their tents. At the commandment of the Yahweh, the children of Israel journeyed, and at the commandment of the Yahweh they pitched. As long as the cloud abode upon the tabernacle, they rested in their tents. And when the cloud tarried long upon the tabernacle many days, then the children of Israel kept the charge of the Yahweh and journeyed not. And so it was, when the cloud was a few days upon the tabernacle, according to the commandment of the Yahweh, they abode in their tents, and according to the commandment of the Yahweh they journeyed. And so it was, when the cloud abode from even until the morning, and the cloud was taken up in the morning, then they journeyed, whether it was by night or by day or by night, that the cloud was taken up, they journeyed, or whether it were 2 days or a month or a year, that the cloud tarried upon the tabernacle, remaining thereon. The children of Israel abode in their tents and journeyed not, but when it was taken up, they journeyed. At the commandment of the Yahweh, they rested in the tents, and at the commandment of the Yahweh, they journeyed. They kept the charge of the Yahweh at the commandment of the Yahweh by the hands of Moses. Okay? Isn't Yah so merciful? You know, when I read these things and I see, I want Yah to make it simple for me. Like, make it simple. So look, he said, and this is directed for us. When Yah say go, you go. When Yah say don't go, you don't go. You need further evidence? Here's a cloud to make it obvious for you. When you see that cloud moving, you move. If the cloud don't move, you don't move. If we're going to move at night, we got some fire for you. With that fire move, then you move. The fire don't move, you don't move. So my prayer, like, okay, y'all, this is what you gave them. Now, I don't know, expect to see a cloud. Give me the equivalent. Let me hear your voice. Cause me to know your voice. Don't have me move without your directive. So make it clear to me like you made unto the children of Israel. Them the kind of prayers that I pray, because I don't want to be no confusion. And I know that he hears my prayer. And so whatever he's given to the children of Israel in the Bible, whatever he's done here, Yah does not change. Whatsoever we ask him for, he will grant that and give it to us. Okay?
Amen. I think that I like what you said. I think that this is why these Torah portions are important, and why the Bible says Shema. When the word is going forth, when there's a call to assemble, that it's important that you come, so that you understand that although Yah did this in the Bible, you said something that was very critical. Most of us don't even ask. Something so simple is to ask Yah to show me. I'm not going to move, Yah. Remember what I said last night? Test him, put him to the test. And so there are things that we deal with in our lives and we don't have an answer for it. And oftentimes we don't know to ask. And if we do ask, we don't want to be patient because we believe that it should come when we want it to come. But Yah has the perfect timing. And so now we enter into a realm of trust. So we have to ask, we have to be patient, and then we have to trust Yah. And we see that there's nothing new under the sun. So if he did it for them then, he's the same God. We read it all the time. I'm the Lord God, and I change not. He'll do it for us now. So I appreciate that, and I like that. Ask Yah to show you your cloud.
Okay.
Ask him to show you your fire.
Okay.
And your decisions, because we want to be in line with not our will, but we always say, let thy will be done. And we want to make sure that we are in alignment. I always say there's three spirits that's always speaking. It's the spirit of God. It is that old familiar spirit, Beelzebub, and it's your own spirit. And they all seem like they saying the same thing, but there's something that's philosophically off.
They got the same voice.
The same voice. And this is how the devil deceives you, because he's going to give you 90% truth. He's going to give you 95%, but that 5% is where he got you. And so let's take that to heart, what you said, that he doesn't change. So let's ask Yah to show us the way.
Okay. You know, if we find ourselves confused, there's no condemnation in being confused, but a constant state of confusion, confused. Well, what does the word say about confusion? He's not the author of confusion. So if we find ourselves confused, we have an unraveler that we don't have to be confused. But like Elder just said, we have to ask. We have to ask. Okay, Kane. All right. Yes, sir.
Just one other comment. The verse 15, it talked about that there'll be one law for the stranger and for the people. So this is what is letting us know that Yah, he's opened up his truth for all people to, to come into the fold. So it wasn't just, oh, that was just for the children of Israel. They were the only ones had to keep his laws. No, he said the stranger, it should be one law for both. So it's no, Yah didn't make a distinction. So that's something that we ought to keep in mind, because it was for all one law for the stranger and for the homeborn. So that was something that that really stood out to me.
So salvation wasn't just open up to the Gentiles in the New Testament.
Okay.
It had always been a thing.
Okay.
I love having this discussion. I say this all the time. You know who was, I guess, probably the first Gentile who was given, the law didn't exist, but was given Yah's ways?
Abraham.
Was Abraham. Right? We talk about, and these Hebrew Israelite groups go in about the Gentile and the pagans. Well, guess what Abraham was? Guess what Moses was? You said, well, no, Moses was born in Hebrew. Yeah, you might have been born in Hebrew, but Moses was an Egyptian. And he did Egyptian things. Why would he do? I mean, he was a baby. Why would he know anything other than that? Okay. And so salvation was always opened up to man. The only thing they had to do is obey the commandments of Yah. And they too, we all got to cross over. To be born again means to cross over, right? And so we all must make that journey. Whether you think you were born a Hebrew or Israelite, that don't matter. But what matters is, are you obeying all of his laws, statutes, and his commandments?
Okay. Yeah, and that's Slika. That's verse 14, not 15.
We're in Numbers chapter 10, verse 1. And the Lord was speaking to Moses, saying, make thee 2 trumpets of silver. Of a whole piece shalt thou make them, that thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly and for the journeying of the camps. And when they shall be with them, all of the assembly shall assemble themselves to thee at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And if they blow the trumpet, then the princes which are heads of thousands of Israel shall gather themselves unto thee. When you blow the alarm, then the camps that lie on the east part shall go forward. When you blow the alarm the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey. They shall blow an alarm for their journeys. But when the congregation is to be gathered together, you shall blow, but you shall not sound an alarm. And the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall blow with the trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance forever throughout your generations. And if you go to war in your line against the enemy that oppresseth you, then you shall blow an alarm with the trumpets, and you shall be remembered before the Jehovah your Elohim, and you shall be saved from your enemies. Also, in the day of your gladness and in your solemn days and in the beginning of your months, you shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your El. I am the Jehovah your Elohim. You got something that you'll say?
Well, yeah, verse 10, um, we have some, you have some people would say, well, we don't, there's no law that told us to observe the beginning of the month and the full moon, new moon, and so forth. But right here, and this is what they quote unquote the law, it says that in the beginning of your months you shall blow the trumpet. So this was the beginning of the months, it was already recognized as well. And he's letting you know that this, this he giving that commandment, this the trumpet should be blown as well. So this is here's a Bible verse that brings this out.
Okay.
Okay. So so yeah, when we observe the full moon and the new moon, it's we're not doing it just out of tradition, but it is a commandment. But we're gonna go to Psalms. What's that? Psalms 80, 81,
Yes, okay.
83,
Mm.
81.
Psalms 81.
Okay.
If you look at verse 10, when it says in the beginning of your months, that's akin to a new moon, the beginning of a month. The months are rendered upon the phases of the moon when you see the moon. So when it says beginning of your months, that's what's called a new moon.
Okay. And so I'm gonna read Psalms 81 just to give a clear picture of the moon, the new moon, and the full moon together. It says, verse 1, sing aloud unto Elohim, which is God, our strength. Make a joyful noise unto the God of Jacob. Take a psalm and bring hither the timbrel, the pleasant harp with the psaltery. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon. The new moon is the new month. In the time appointed. That time appointed is translated as the full moon. When you go back and look at it in the Hebrew, that's what it's translated as full moon. On our solemn feast day. For this is a statute for Yisrael and a law of the God of Jacob.
Okay.
So right here we have it saying that not only it's a law and it's a statute to keep both the new moon, which is the beginning of the months, just like which is the first of the month, as Numbers chapter 10 made, and then it's saying the appointed time, the time appointed, which would be translated as the full moon, and that's during the middle of the month.
So it's a commandment for the people of God to not only celebrate the solemn feast days with the blowing of the trumpet, but with most people who even acknowledge the feast days, what they don't do is, because it sounds weird, right? Sound like some wolf stuff going on. Blowing up the trumpet in the full moon and the new moon. So we're required to come before Yah. What is it, Dr. Tate? 13 14 and 3/4 days. It's a commandment for us to come to his house. And we have a short service, but it's a commandment to come here and blow the shofar. And so if you keeping the quote unquote 7-day Sabbath and you're going to keep his feast days, but you are not knowledgeable that he's requiring us to come before him on the new moon and the full moon, then you're not keeping the law. The Bible says it's a statute. It's a law for Yisrael.
Okay.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
I don't believe it's a deviation. I just wanted to also suggest, in light of this conversation, 2 Chronicles chapter 2 and verse 4.
Yes.
It says, "Behold, I build an house to the name of the Yehovah my Elohim, to dedicate it to him and to burn before him sweet incense and for continual shewbread and for burnt offerings morning and evening on the Sabbaths and on the new moons and on the solemn feasts of the Yehovah our Elohim. This is an ordinance forever to Yisrael." And so I just wanted to add it to the conversation as we're talking about blowing up the trumpet in the new moon, and we're talking about these feastiums that we're commanded to keep, but also just as a reminder that this Bible verse shows that it's a commandment and an ordinance for his people forever, and that we're to do that in the house that was built to the name of Elohim, which is Bethel.
Torah for that. Thank you. Thank you. That makes it even more clear. Any questions, comments? Don't be shy. I see some questions in people's face. All right. If not now, after class, we always open for questions.
Anybody online?
We are in Numbers chapter 10. We are at verse 11. "And it came to pass on the 20th day of the second month in the second year that the cloud was taken up from off the tabernacle of the testimony. And the children of Israel took their journeys out of the wilderness of Sinai, and the cloud rested in the wilderness of Paran." So now they're finally moving. Now they're moving. They kept after the Yah gave a provision for those who were unclean to keep Passover in the second month. They kept the ordinance, and then now they're moving. So now, it goes through, it says the cloud was taken up and they moved. Well, listen, when the cloud was taken up, the tabernacle had to be disassembled, right? So it's not like the cloud was taken up, we start moving out. No, the cloud was taken up. Then Aaron and his sons went in and covered up the instruments. Then the Kohathites came in there and they bared the instruments and took them out. Then the Gershonites came and they took off the coverings, the animal skins, and folded them. And remember, they brought the children of Israel brought wagons and mules and oxen. And so they loaded it up and put it away. And then after that, the sons of Merari came in and took down the structure, the wood overlaid with gold. And remember, there was an outer court, all the posts and the pillars, and it had to be organized. Remember, they got to set it back up. Then they moved out. Now, how long that took, I don't know. But they didn't just get up and start. And then remember now, when they move, he just said how you move. So once all that was done, right? Or maybe before that, once they was done, once they get ready to move, then you sound the trumpet, right? And then the east side moved first. Right, the south side moved next, the west side moved next, then the north side moved, right, in order. Well, no, it actually went east side, south side, the Levites came, then west side and north side. And so now they're moving, and we know we got at least 600 some odd thousand people that's moving. So you could just imagine, the Bible says the cloud was taken up and they moved. Well, no, it's the way that they moved. Verse 12, verse 13, "And they took their journey according to the commandment of the Yehovah by the hand of Moses." Notice how they was pretty much in perfect obedience. It always says they did their journey by the commandment of the Yehovah, the commandment of the Yehovah. They did as Moses said by the commandment of the Yehovah. They're learning obedience in the wilderness. And as long as they're obedient, they're being provided for. So notice the order and notice the obedience is keys to taking hold of the covenant and getting the promises thereof. 14, in the first place went the standard of the camp of the children of Judah, is what they're explaining, according to their armies. And over his host was Nahshon, the son of Amminadab. And over the host of the tribe of the children of Issachar was Nathaniel, the son of Zuar. And over the host of the tribe of the children of Zebulun was Eliab, the son of Helon. And the tabernacle was taken down, and the sons of Gershon and the sons of Merari set forward bearing the tabernacle. And the standard of the camp of Reuben set forward according to their armies, and over his host was Eleazar, the son of Shadur, and over the host of the tribe of the children of Simeon was Shelemiel, and the son of Zerushadai, and over the host of the tribe of the children of Gad was Eliasaph, the son of Deuel. And the Kohathites set forward, bearing the sanctuary, and the other did set up the tabernacle against they came. And the standard of the camp of the children of Ephraim set forward according to their armies, and over his host was Elishama, the son of Ammihud, and over the host of the tribe of the children of Manasseh was Gamaliel, the son of Pedazur, and over the host of the tribe of the children of Benjamin was Abidan, the son of Gideoni. And the standard of the camp of the children of Dan set forward, which was the reward of all the camps throughout their hosts. And over his host was Ahiezer, the son of Ammishaddai. And over the host of the tribe of the children of Asher was Pagiel, the son of Akron. And over the host of the tribe of the children of Naphtali was Ahira, the son of Enon. Thus were the journeyings of the children of Israel according to their armies when they set forward. And Moses said unto Hobab, the son of Raguel, the Midianite, Moses' father-in-law, we are journeying unto a place of which the Yahweh said, I will give it you. Come thou with us, and we will do thee good, for the Yahweh hath spoken good concerning Israel. And he said unto him, I will not go, but I will depart to my own land and to my kindred. And he said, leave us not, I pray thee, for as much as thou knowest how we are to encamp in the wilderness, and thou mayest be to us instead of eyes. And it shall be, if thou go with us, yea, it shall be that what goodness the Yahweh shall do unto us, the same will we do unto thee. And they departed from the mount of the Yahweh 3 days' journey, and the ark of the covenant of the Yahweh went before them in the 3 days' journey to search out a resting place for them. And the cloud of the Yahweh was upon them by day when they went out of the camp. And it came to pass when the ark set forward that Moses said, rise up, Yahweh, and let thine enemies be scattered, and let them that hate thee flee before thee. And when it rested, he said, return, O Yahweh, unto the many thousands of Israel. Okay, questions, comments? Chapter 11. And when the people complained, it displeased the Yahweh, and the Yahweh heard it, and his anger was kindled, and the fire of the Yahweh burnt among them and consumed them that were in the uttermost parts of the camp. And the people cried unto Moses, and when Moses prayed unto the Yahweh, the fire was quenched. And he called the name of the place Taberah, because the fire of the Yahweh burnt among them. And the mixed multitude that was among them fell a-lusting. And the children of Israel also wept again, and said, who shall give us flesh to eat? We remember the fish which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers, and the melons, and the leeks, and the onions, and the garlic. But now our soul is dried away. There is nothing at all besides this manna before our eyes. And the manna was as coriander seed, and the color thereof as the color of bdellium. And the people went about and gathered it and ground it in mills, or beat it into a mortar and baked it in pans and made cakes of it. And the taste of it was as the taste of fresh oil. So, okay. So they complaining. So a lot of times when you see them complaining, we look at them and be like, man, they always complain this and that. Okay, well, come on now. Do we complain? Like, you ever met somebody that don't eat leftovers? They open the refrigerator and be like, nothing in here. You be like, it's 3 days of leftovers from yesterday and the day before. Right, I don't want that. And then, okay, let's be reasonable. They've been eating manna for a year. And, you know, the manna tastes the same. And don't act like the flesh won't jump up and be like, man, manna again, man, this manna. Right? So, you know, they thinking about what they used to have, cucumbers and leeks and this and that. The thought is not unusual. The thought is not necessarily a sin, so to speak, depending on how you process the thought. it's a normal, it's human, right? Go ahead, come this manner again. The thing of it is, a lesson that I take from this though is, the thing of it is, Yah is gracious enough to grant us our desires and our wants. But the basis of life is what you need. What do you need to sustain your life? You know, okay, you might be drinking water every day, or you might have apple, open your refrigerator, you got apple juice, fruit juice, and all kind of juice. But really, you just need some water. So now when you find yourself complaining, don't complain, or it's disrespectful to complain or ungrateful to complain when all your needs are being met. They're just not being met in the way that you would want to have them met. Okay? And then he gives us, uh, for those of us who have the movement of our limbs and have our health, he gives us the things we need to go. Go get you some apple juice if you want some apple juice. But don't complain if you want some apple juice, huh? Too much, well, too much sugar. See, half the time what you complain about, it ain't good for you no way. So yeah, so be careful when we see the children of Israel complaining, because I do. Y'all complain again? Well, let me see. What do I complain about and ungrateful about? Because you saying they complaining because they seen the miracles. And like we said before, have you ever asked y'all for a miracle or asked him for something and got delivered? And then you seen y'all like the Red Sea split for you. And so you see, like, man, if I would have seen that Red Sea split and then he giving us a cloud, this and that, I'm gonna be totally obedient. Really? You think so? For real? You would have been totally obedient? Well, what about that miracle he delivered us from or delivered me from? And then a few months later, I was complaining. Like when you got that job, oh, y'all give me a job, give me, and then you get the job, and then for the first 3 months, it's the best thing happened, y'all. And then a year and a half later, you looking for everything you don't like about the job. You don't like the supervisor, you don't like the starting time, you don't like the pay no more. But the job was just the best blessing in the world. Now the job, you ain't, you know. So be careful about looking at how they're murmuring. Take the message, and then be careful of how we find ourselves murmuring. Okay.
Okay.
You got something else?
Yeah, and when you think about it, they murmured, they complained, they they felt that the lifestyle that they had previously, the luxury that they had, they was ready to get up out of Egypt after they saw those
Plagues.
plagues and so forth. But now, and they were quick to go. But now here it is. Yeah, they want to go back to that bondage, but they were looking at, oh, we had fish, cucumbers, leeks, onions, garlic, all of this stuff, and now all we got is manna. Well, when you think about being content, when Paul said, I learned how to be
A base and a bound.
abound and abase. So he knew how, and that's how we have to be. We need to learn how to be content no matter what no matter what the situation is. When you I tell my one of the things I tell my kids, sometimes they might get hungry. We might be out going different places and they haven't eaten all day. And I know that at some foods they just don't care for, but that's the food that they need. But after we've been running around doing this and that, when I give them the stuff that they normally don't like to eat, they crush it. And it reminds me, the Bible says to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. So, and that's in Proverbs 27:7. So they be like, oh, yeah, it's good. I'll be like, yeah, but it ain't good when y'all got all this other stuff. But now it's good. Now they like, yeah, they done ate it all. I'm like, good. I said, so you gotta be content. That's for us too. We gotta, be content, because now that's giving thanks to El, because he don't want us complaining, but we gotta thank him, because if it ain't for him, we wouldn't have anything anyway.
So do y'all.
I think that our faith is tested oftentimes. We say that we believe in Yah, we say that he got our back, but when it comes to certain situations, we read the Bible verse last night where he says, no good thing would I withhold to them that walketh upright. Now you got a faith problem. And that faith problem is you might be questioning whether you're walking upright or not.
Okay.
Because if the Bible said it, whatever we have in this moment is what Yah wanted us to have in this moment.
Okay.
Whatever position we in, it may not be the best position that we want to be in, but it's the position that Yah has you in for this season. Whether it's through because of testimony, whether he's developing you, whether or not this is what you need at this point in your life. Now, we unconsciously say that we know better than Yah, because here we are today dealing with what we're dealing with, and we asking him why. Now, sometimes we're in a position because of sin, but sometimes you're in a position because of growth. That Yah's going to do a great thing in your life.
Okay.
And in order to get to the pinnacle of where he wants to take us, that we have to go through our steps and we have to go through our stages. And sometimes we don't want that. And so when we start that complaining, we need to focus more on Yah. We need to remember that we belong to him. And he has never denied his sons and daughters of the things. Now, he did say he'll give you the desires of your heart. All you got to do is ask. Well, he didn't say when he'll give you those things. And so when we ask for things and we go through our tests, he reveals to us our own heart that we really didn't believe because we didn't want to wait on him. So it's something to be intentional about, and it's something for us to consciously think about when we go through our journey, that we are Yisrael. The Bible tells us that Yisrael in Isaiah the 43rd chapter is his sons and daughters, right? So if we remember that, then we just continue to walk our journey until our change comes.
Okay.
Torah.
Yeah.
Numbers chapter 11, verse 9. And when the dew fell upon the camp in the night, the manna fell upon it. Then Moses heard the people weep throughout their families, every man in the door of his tent, and the anger of the Yehovah was kindled great. They crying. And the anger of the Yehovah was kindled greatly. Moshe was also displeased. Look, I know some people can relate to this. I only know by story, but from the stories I heard from my grandparents, look, my grandmama shut the kitchen down at a certain time. And like they sound the trumpet to move out, it was a sound for you to come in and be eating at a certain time. And there was only so much food to go around, and it might not gonna be no seconds. And you might not like what was on the plate, but you weren't finna get nothing else. So you can see why, it'd be displeased. So you come in the house at a certain time, you come to eat, you get what you got. If you ain't ate, then you're not gonna eat. If you ain't there, you ain't gonna eat, and you better be grateful for what you have. So you can see why the Yehovah would be greatly displeased, just like the same way Mama and them would be greatly displeased. Cain, you coming in complaining, and we got food on the table. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. There's a lot of things coming to my mind with that, but I'm gonna move on. So they crying or wept, at least the Bible said they wept, they probably just complaining. And the anger of the Yehovah was kindled greatly. Moses also was displeased. And Moses said unto the Yehovah, wherefore hast thou afflicted thy servant? And wherefore have I not found favor in thy sight, that thou layest the burden of all this people upon me? Now they distressing the leader. Moses going to Yah saying, man, why you got me over these people? What did I do that you made me have to deal with these people? Have I conceived all these people? Am I they dead in their mama? Have I begotten them? Did I give birth to them? That you should have said to me, carry them in thy bosom, as a nursing father buried the sucking child unto the land which thou swearest to thy fathers. Moses ready to check out, man. Moses like, look, I'm tired. Whence should I have flesh to give unto all this people? Now, how am I going to get them what they asking for? They asking me for flesh. For they weep unto me, saying, give us flesh that we may eat. I am not able to bear all this people alone, because it is too heavy for me. And if you deal thus with me, kill me, I pray thee, out of hand, if I have found favor in your sight, and let me not see my wretchedness. If you love me, and you're going to make me continue on this and not give me no help, kill me. And the Yehovah said unto Moses, gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be the elders of the people, and officers over them, and bring them unto the tabernacle of the congregation, that they may stand there with thee. And I will come down and talk with thee there, and I will take of the spirit which is upon you, and will put it upon them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with thee, that thou bearest it not thyself alone. And say thou unto the people, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow, and you shall eat flesh, for you have wept in the ears of the Yehovah, saying, who shall give us flesh to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt. Therefore the Yehovah will give you flesh, and you shall eat. You shall not eat 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, neither 10 days, nor 20 days. but even a whole month until it come out at your nostrils, and it be loathsome unto you, because that you have despised the Yehovah which is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why came ye forth out of Egypt? And Moses said, the people among who I am are 600,000 footmen, and thou hast said, I will give them flesh, that they may eat a whole month. Shall the flocks and the herds be slain for them to suffice them? Or shall all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them to suffice them? And the Yehovah said unto Moses, is the Yehovah's hand waxed short? Thou shalt see now whether my word shall come to pass unto thee or not. And Moses went out and told the people the words of the Yehovah, and gathered the 70 men of the elders of the people, and set them round about the tabernacle. And the Yehovah came down in the cloud and spake unto him, and took of the spirit that was upon him, and gave it unto the 70 elders. And it came to pass that when the spirit rested upon them, they prophesied and did not cease. But there remained 2 of the men in the camp. The name of the one was Eldad, and the name of the other Medad. And the spirit rested upon them, and they were of them that were written, but went not out unto the tabernacle, and they prophesied in the camp. And there ran a young man and told Moses and said, Eldad and Medad do prophesy in the camp. And Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of Moses, one of his young men, answered and said, my Lord Moses forbid them. And Moses said unto him, enviest thou for my sake? Would that all the Jehovah's people were prophets, and that the Jehovah would put his spirit upon them? And Moses gat him into the camp, he and the elders of Israel, and there went forth the wind from the Jehovah, and brought quails from the sea, and let them fall by the camp, as it were a day's journey on this side, and as it were a day's journey on the other side, round about the camp, as it were 2 cubits high upon the face of the earth. Do y'all understand what they're saying? He's saying the wind blew and brought so much quail. A cubit is a foot and a half. So 2 cubits. So 3 foot high, and a day's journey on each side. Walking now, not driving, a day's journey walking. So here's how much quail it was. It was a day's journey on each side and 3 foot high. And there went forth a wind. Okay, 32. And the people stood up all that day and all that night and all the next day, and they gathered the quails. He that gathered least gathered 10 homers, and they spread them all abroad for themselves round about the camp. And while the flesh was yet between their teeth, before it was chewed, the wrath of the Yehovah was kindled against the people, and the Yehovah smote the people with a very great plague. And he called the name of that place Kibroth Ha'atava, because there they buried the people that lusted. And the people journeyed from Kibroth Ha'atava unto Hazeroth, and abode at Hazeroth. It's a lot of lessons in there. Go ahead, sir. Get a mic, please.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Could you expound on 34?
Verse 34.
Cain.
Well, and he called the name of that place Kibroth Ha'atava, because there they buried the people that lusted.
Yeah.
Ask me a specific.
Oh, the lusty part.
Oh, the lusting, right?
Yeah, what was they lusting at?
Listen. So he gave them in his sore displeasure. He answered their prayer. But as Dr. Tay just alluded to, sometimes you want things that got too much sugar in it. So now that quail, it wasn't for you. The quail wasn't for you. And you was lusting after it because of it was ungrateful, Cain. So now the desire to want it was not necessarily the sin. So when he sent more than enough, instead of saying, man, they tried to figure out a way to organize it and let's get all this quail. You see what I'm saying? So now they trying to, it said they stayed up for what, 3 straight days? So they trying to, yeah, well, it's inordinate affection and coveting for something, even though you asked for it. It's more than enough. So they lusted, and they getting it, and they got it. They imagining that they back in Egypt, or they imagining that they getting, the dream state. They imagining something that's outside the covenant. So the lust is a desire that moves almost into an animalistic. Even when you see here that it's not for you. So he gave them all that quail, and they trying to figure out how can we consume all this quail. Thank you for the quail, right? You got something to add to that, Elder, or what Minister you'll say?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, so they were discontent with El. They were discontent with what he provided. So basically, they said, what you giving us is not enough. But what they had, they were surviving all that time with the manna. But now all of a sudden, they want something in addition to the manna, something they want a different taste. So now they lusting after. He already because of their complaining at the beginning, it says he some people got burned up. It says Moses had to pray to Yah, to the Yehovah, and then to put the fire out. So some people got consumed by his fire, and now for the complaining, now it even went even further. They lusted after X, Y, and Z. So then he gave them what they wanted, but it was to their detriment. And look what happened. That destroyed them as well.
Okay. And understand this too. So this death here is a physical death, but being separated from Yah is death, even while you're breathing. So now in this time, when we have a lust for something or asking for something, not being grateful, being displeased with Yah, really being displeased with that which Yah has provided after he's answered our prayers. He then answered the prayers, and now you displeased was his answer to the prayer, and you asking for something else, and then you lusting, and then Yah grant you that prayer, which is not good for you. But now what you've done is that death, you've entered into death. He might not take your life, but I guarantee you that lust is going to distract you from your hearing, okay? It's going to distract you from your discernment, right? Because you're so consumed with you, me. Now you're going to be separated from the signs, from the promises, from the wonder. Now you walking through the land of darkness, right? Without no help. That's death right there. So that death can take place even as you alive. The same thing. He consumed them. And I know one of the reasons that he consumed the people here, and when y'all would say put them to death, because he don't want that cancer or that mentality to spread amongst the nation. Okay? Because of the spread. Yes, sir.
Like like you pray for a relationship with either with a male or a female, and then you put them as your heir. Is that lusting after them?
I mean,
you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying marry, but you pray, oh yeah, whatever.
You said the key thing. You said you put them as your L.
Yeah.
And that's a subtle thing. So you get a thing that you had asked for, and then you so pleased with it. Really, you love it. That's why he give us a provision. Keep your mind on things above and not on earth. And he says the love of the world is enmity with him. We're really not supposed to have a love for anything that's in the earth, because it's temporary anyway. Your children, they all can get taken away. So that's with wisdom. But if you make a thing your L, meaning it will cause you to do things to go against the commandment of L, to please that thing or to have that thing. Like, I don't feel like keeping the Shabbat today, or let's go for a walk because you love your wife so much, your husband so much, you do that instead of coming to service and many other things. Then yeah, that is a type of lust.
That's right. Okay. Torah.
Yes, sir.
Shalom. I was from what I've been hearing, I think another thing that we have to realize too, one, that we are human, and two, we have emotions, right? So a lot of times when we navigating through life or through problems and situations, sometimes we allow our feelings to override what we want Yah to do for us. So that's why we have to be mindful when we go down in prayer. We need to make sure we're meditating and get those things, get our own feelings out of it, but allowing El to use you in that prayer. If you want something from El, healing or anything, but you have to take the time to know that before you go down there, when you get up from that prayer, you have to understand that you gave it to Yah, right? So you can't allow your emotions to get you back into that same mindset So that means that you got to have faith once you come up from that prayer and continue in what you know that Yah has given you, so that you don't make a mistake, so Yah can bless you.
Okay, Torah. We are in chapter 12. We're going to the end of this chapter. It says, and Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. Miriam and Aaron is Moses' brother and sister. And they said, has the Yehovah indeed spoken only by Moses? Has he not spoken also by us? And the Yehovah heard it. And they said, and now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And the Yehovah spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And the Yehovah came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Yehovah, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of the Yehovah shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? And the anger of the Yehovah was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh out of his mother's womb. And Moses cried unto the Yehovah, saying, hear her now, O El, I beseech thee. And the Yehovah said unto Moses, if her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that let her be received in again. And Miriam was shut out of the camp 7 days, and the people journeyed not till Miriam brought it again. And afterward the people removed from Hazeroth and pitched in the wilderness of Paran. Mm. Mm. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, 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 mm. So, okay, so here you see Miriam. Now, it's a lot of this is a powerful portion, and we're reading so many lessons in here. So, one thing I see here I take from this is the spirit of complaining. It spreads, right? Complain, 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 complain. Sometimes you won't even think about something till somebody brings to your attention. I never thought about that. Yeah, you're right. That is ugly. Never would have came to you, right? You're right. Dude is kind of dumb. You know, like, is that your thoughts or whatever it may be? So that thing spread. So now if you see Miriam here spoke up. Now Miriam is a prophet. Deuteronomy chapter 30 described her as a prophetess, right? And so she tried to find a flaw in Moshe because she wanted to be exalted. She wanted to be looked upon, that same kind of honor that was on her. It didn't even have nothing to do. So you look at the Bible says, look at no man after the flesh. Can you walking in the spirit? So if you're looking for something, you can find something. So now you're looking at the leader and let me find something wrong. Let me find something wrong. Oh, I found something wrong. And now you find something wrong and you use what you found wrong to try to besmirch the person. So because you're not pleased with your position. This is one thing that Miriam did right here, right? And so she tried to find what she thought was a flaw in Moshe, right? And then complain, and of course, Yah was displeased. But now Yah had to explain to them, say, well, listen, this is who Moses is. If a leader is set up, and we talked about this last Torah portion, Yah has put them there, okay? So once again, any complaining, any murmuring, any fault finding, you find a fault with Yah, okay? You got something there? So you want to find fault in the leadership. You want to find fault in the saints. You don't know what Yah is doing, what Yah is working. Second of all, for those of us who desire a position, look at what Moses is going through. Do you sure this is what you want? You want this smoke? You want to be the leader? we usually see the end result of a thing, right? Them standing before them, but we don't see what's going on while we sleep or whatever, like the Olympics or like a great stage performer. We seeing the end result, but you're not there for all those hours and hours when they was falling down, when they hurt their knee, when they was tired, they still had to practice. You see now in verse 3, it's interesting that after Miriam said, don't Yah has Yah indeed spoken only by Moses? Has he not spoken to us also? Then it described the nature of the man they were complaining against. Now Moses was very meek above all men which were upon the face of the earth. Moses wasn't holding his chest up, puffed out, trying to say, I'm the man of Yah and Yah speaks to me. No, Moses was meek and everything, and she still complaining against him. So that displeased Yah, okay? And you see, it's something called, they call it Lashon Hara. And we had went through it when they talk about leprosy. And it's speaking ill of any of Yah's children. And one of the terms for leprosy, the plague of leprosy comes from what they call Lashon Hara, which is speaking ill of Yah's children. And so we got to be careful to be putting ill words on any of Yah's children. That's why the directive is not to look at any man after the flesh, but look at everybody after the spirit. Okay? So whenever you're looking at your brother and sister, look at your brother and sister after the spirit. We all are works in progress, right? And the elder just said something so powerful. He said, you might find yourself in a situation and it could be for their growth. So that what you seeing that you think is uncomely, whatever, that could be part of their growth. Okay? It don't mean they in sin. It could be part of their growth. Okay? You got something else?
Yeah, I was gonna say when you look back at what they're complaining and the response that that Yah the response that Yah gave was he looked at their complaint and he explained how meek and humble Moses was, but he also said that he was dealing with Moses like no other man was dealing with Yah like Moses was. He was making his word plain to Moses, speaking with him direct, face to face, whereas other people would only get visions and dreams. He was like, but not with Moses. I'm giving everything to him direct. So the way Yah was dealing with Moses and the way he may deal with certain leaders, this is what he emphasized that like I deal with him differently than I deal with you. So that's something to keep in mind, because now that's we don't want to frustrate the will of Yah, his work that he's doing. So we got to keep that in mind on how he may be dealing with certain people that he has put in charge, because we don't know how he's dealing with them. He ain't dealing with us the way he's dealing with them. And then the other thing is the fact that I always look at how he dealt with Moses and put Moses on a certain level. And today you got people that speak against Moses when they say that we don't have to keep certain things that he gave, but Yah dealt with him in that way. So
Okay.
they don't have that authority to try to say we don't have to follow that. But we got to keep in mind that's something that we can always explain, like, hey, this was somebody that Yah and Christ is higher than him, but even Christ told us, if you don't obey Moses or believe him, you won't believe me, because Moses wrote about me. So that's something to keep in mind as well.
Okay, we're going to Zechariah chapter 2. Before we leave, though, notice as soon as it says the anger was kindled against them and the Jehovah departed, it say the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, which was time to move out. But the people, and they love Miriam. They waited. She was put out of the camp 7 days. So before she got put out of there, when she got put out of the camp, the cloud rose for them to journey. And it said the people waited for Miriam to come for 7 days for uncleanness to be going away and brought back in the camp. And then they moved. So that was a major show of love right there. But for Miriam, Sister Miriam. Yes. Zechariah chapter 2, starting at verse 14. 10.
10,
Verse 10.
10.
Verse 10. Hold on.
With that shalom, Shabbat shalom. Would that outpouring of love and waiting for Miriam have also been a breaking of the commandments? Because once the cloud was moved, they were supposed to move. Or should they have waited for Miriam? Or
Look, you know how, okay, we have instances in the Bible where seemingly a commandment was broken. Do you remember when Rahab lied? Remember the spies? We're gonna get to that. She told a lie. It's other instances I'm thinking of, 3 or 4 instances where by the letter of the law, a commandment was broken. But by the spirit acting out of love, Yah was not displeased. And I'm thinking that this fell into that category. Cain? Yeah, Cain. Don't quote me on that though. Huh?
That was a good.
Yeah, don't quote me on that one. All right, we in Zechariah chapter 2.
Starting at verse 2. Zechariah chapter 2, start at verse 10. And it says, Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, saith the Yahweh. And many nations shall be joined to the Yahweh in that day, and shall be my people, and I will dwell in the midst of thee. And thou shalt know that the Yahweh of hosts has sent me unto thee. And the Yahweh shall inherit Judah, his portion in the Holy Land, and shall choose Jerusalem again. Be silent, all flesh, before the Yahweh, for he is raised up out of his holy habitation. Chapter 3, verse 1. And he showed me Joshua, the high priest, standing before the angel of the Yahweh, and Satan standing at his right hand to resist him. And the Yahweh said unto Satan, the Yahweh rebuke thee, O Satan, even the Yahweh that has chosen Jerusalem rebuke thee. Is not this a brand plucked out of the fire? Now Joshua was clothed with filthy garments and stood before the angel. And he answered and spake unto those that stood before him, saying, Take away the filthy garments from him. And unto him he said, Behold, I have caused thine iniquity to pass from before thee, and I will clothe thee with the change of raiment. And I said, Let them set a fair mitra upon his head. So they set a fair mitra upon his head, and clothed him with the garments. And the angel of the Yahweh stood by. And the angel of the Yahweh protested unto Joshua, saying, Thus says the Yahweh of hosts, if thou wilt walk in my ways, and if thou wilt keep my charge, then thou shalt also judge my house, and shall also keep my courts, and I will give thee places to walk among these that stand by. Hear now, O Joshua the high priest, and thy fellows that sit before thee, for they are men wondered at. For behold, I will bring forth my servant, the branch. For behold, the stone that I have laid before Joshua, upon one stone shall be 7 eyes. Behold, I will engrave the engraving, I will engrave the graving thereof, saith the Yahweh of hosts, and I will remove the iniquity of that land in one day. In that day, says the Yahweh of hosts, shall you call every man his neighbor under the vine and under the fig tree. Chapter 4, we're going to what, verse 7?
Verse 7, okay.
Okay. And the angel that talked with me came again and waked me as a man that is wakened out of his sleep, and said unto me, What seest thou? And I said, I have looked, and behold, a candlestick all of gold, with a bowl upon the top of it, and his 7 lamps thereon, and 7 pipes to the 7 lamps, and which are upon the top thereof, and 2 olive trees by it, one upon the right side of the bowl, and the other upon the left side thereof. So I answered and spake to the angel that talked with me, saying, What are these, my Lord? Then the angel that talked with me answered and said unto me, Knowest thou not what these be? And I said, No, my Lord. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, This is the word of the Yahweh unto Zerubbabel, saying, Not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, says the Yahweh of hosts. Who art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel, thou shalt become a plain, and shall bring forth the headstone thereof with shoutings, crying, Grace, grace unto it. Got something?
Low.
No, you got something? No. How they?
How they was trying to relate it?
Yeah.
Well, We go into Matthew chapter 14, but before we leave, you notice that the Jehovah rebuked Satan for his son's sake. Okay. And it said that verse 2, and the Jehovah said unto Satan, the Jehovah rebuked thee, O Satan, even the Jehovah that have chosen Jerusalem rebuked thee. Is not this a brand plucked out of the fire? Now Joshua was clothed with filthy garments and stood before the angel. And the Jehovah said, take away the filthy garments from him, and gave him a change of raiment, and he put a crown upon his head. What I'm taking from this, one thing I'm taking from this is the word talks about you've been predestinated. So whatever Yah has for us, he has for us in whatever state we find ourselves in. So you see here, it's saying Joshua had on filthy garments. And so your state, the state that we find ourselves in, especially if it's a state that's not pleasing unto us, it can cause our mind to be clouded by our own voice of complaining, or another voice, which is the voice of the world, even Satan himself whispering to us, and we hearing that, and we got evidence because we clothed in filthy garments. We don't have the things we asking for. Seem like our prayers have not been heard, but we don't know that the Jehovah is right there standing for us, rebuking. He said, "I've chosen you," so we already chosen. Okay. And one of the ways we know that one of the ways we can identify that Yah got us is because we compelled to keep his commandments. Some compel you to come and keep the Sabbath. Some compelling you to not eat that thing, that you might have been raised on. Some compelling you to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. That's one of the evidence that Yah, you hearing Yah's voice, Yah has predestinated you from the beginning. So if you are Yah's sons and daughters, don't matter what state you find yourself in, that which he has for you is going to come to fruition, okay? And it's not beholden to time or space. Yah's outside of time or space. So regardless of how long you think it's been or whatever, Yah has it. And Jehovah will rebuke Satan for you and clean you up, Cain, and give you that thing. But remember, look at what he said, though. He said after he changed his garments and put a crown on his head, he said, where are we at? Verse 7, thus said the Jehovah of hosts, if you will walk in my ways and keep my charge, then shall you also judge my house and shall keep my courts, and I will give thee places to walk among those that stand. So once we have been cleaned up and we get delivered from that place, the obedience is the key, okay?
And one thing, it was kind of hard for me to try to put together the connection, but with the entire Torah portion. But this Joshua right here was a high priest, and it made mention of him being he had filthy rags on, and Yah cleaned him up. But Yah made mention right here in verse 8. He said, I will bring forth my servant, the branch. The branch is referring to Mashiach. And what I'm seeing here is how Yah's going, because when he rises, that's what the Torah
Cain, when you rise.
when he rises. So now Yah's rising through Mashiach. Now he's gonna be able to carry out and do with the priests couldn't, and even us, what we didn't have the full capability to do. Now it's gonna be done. And like Baruch Yah was talking about, Satan, Yah rebuked Satan. And now we got the branch, which is Mashiach, also the one who is defending us, the one who is cleansing us, and the priest that didn't have to be cleansed, because this is El, the highest priest.
Torah. We're going to Matthew chapter 14.
Yeah, 14, verse 14 through 21.
Chapter 14, verse 14.
Okay.
All right.
And it says, and Yashak went forth and saw a great multitude and was moved with compassion toward them, and he healed their sick. And when it was evening, his disciples came to him, saying, this is a desert place, and the time is now past. Send the multitude away, that they may go into the villages and buy themselves victuals. But Yashak said unto them, they need not depart. Give ye them to eat. And they say, unto him, we have here but 5 loaves and 2 fishes. He said, bring them hither to me. And he commanded the multitude to sit down on the grass, and took the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, and looking unto up to heaven, he blessed and brake and gave the loaves to his disciples, and the disciples to the multitude. And they did all eat and were filled, and they took up the fragments that remained, 12 baskets. And they that had eaten were about 5,000 men, beside women and children.
Torah.
So you right here, you got y'all taking something that was what we looked at as not a small amount, and he blessed it, and it was enough for everybody, and it was some left over. And when you look back in the beginning, they had more than enough, but they wanted even more. They lusted after it. These people was more concerned about the word, hearing the word. It was the disciples that saw, oh, well, send them away, because and Christ said, no, no, he said send them, yes, send them away, because now the time, it's a desert place and whatever. And then Christ said, get them some food. He's like, how are we gonna feed all of these people? And Mashiach said, they said, how we gonna feed it? Because they knew that they couldn't provide it, but Mashiach did the providing when he blessed it, gave it to heaven. And I was thinking about this. I said, we need to take our money or whatever, give it, put it up in the air to Yah, say, Yah, make it enough for us. I don't care if it's $1,
Okay.
feed my family, whatever. So that's something that came to my mind when I read this, because that's how Yah, he'll give us enough. We may think we need a large portion of money or something else, but he'll take what we got, and if we have that thankful heart to him, he'll multiply so it can supply all of those needs that we have.
Torah. Torah. It's interesting too, the spiritual side. Part of the spiritual side of this is it was a great multitude, and when it became even his disciples, right, his students, those who he chose out of the earth, they said, hey, it's getting late, send them away so that they can go to the village and get them something to eat. But Mashiach said they don't need to depart, give ye them to eat. He told his disciples, he said, you feed them. And so they're looking upon what they got. He teaching them a lesson. They looking upon what they had, and they said, well, we don't have enough to eat. They said unto him, we have here but 5 loaves and 2 fishes. See, they looking after the flesh. Please believe with faith, they could have did what Mashiach did. I promise you that. But then look at the connotation. And they say unto him, we have but 5 loaves and 2 fishes. He said, bring them hither to me. Now they're using the food as an analogy, but this could be anything. Whatsoever you in the world and people will come to you for their needs, or they might come to you, they might not even be asking you, but there's no coincidence. They might come into you with a query or a question, or they might be complaining about something, or they might be telling you about their hard-pressed situation, and your mind be like, well, there's nothing I could do for you, or I could pray for you, but Mashiach said, bring them unto me. You bring them unto Mashiach, and they say, we have but 5 loaves and 2 fish. He said, bring them to me. And he commanded the multitudes to sit on the grass, and took the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes up to heaven. He blessed and brake and gave the loaves to his disciples. Then after he blessed what the disciples got to him, he gave it to his disciples to distribute amongst the people, okay? So we that conduit right now of Mashiach in the world. So it's like Minister Yosef said, you cast all your burdens. He said, cast your burdens upon the Yehovah. A lot of them burdens that's going to be cast is going to be cast upon us if we so choose to carry the burden. But we're not to carry the burden. We're to give that burden to Mashiach. So somebody you care about, your best friend, or whoever you call to, they give you some information. Take that information or whatever it may to Mashiach. Mashiach take it, bless it, break it, give it back to you, and then you give it unto them, okay? So you cast that burden for them to Mashiach because they weren't strong enough or wise enough or had the information to know faithful enough to cast that burden. So you took that burden for them and you cast it upon Mashiach, Cain. In fact, you took the burden as if it was your own. That's love. You took it on as your burden because you felt their heart was hurting. Like that just happened to you. Now it burdened you. It said Mashiach looked on the multitude and had compassion. Right? He didn't look on like, look at these fools. They could have just went over there. They sinners. They breaking y'all's law. That's why y'all suffering. No, he looked on the multitude and had compassion. You hear someone giving you something from their life, and you like, wow, and it's a heavy on your heart. Now you didn't took it on as a burden out of love, and so now you take that burden and cast it upon Mashiach. And Mashiach gonna take it, break it, bless it. If you're in tune, gonna give it back to you, and then we're gonna have something to give unto the world. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Tony. Yeah.
$5 $2.
Huh? Cain.
Lift it up.
Offer it up to him. Cain. Remember this too. I know we was done, but remember this. This always helped me. The kingdom, y'all deal with multiplication. It says he gives exceedingly abundantly more than you could ask or think of. No matter how wide your imagination is, it's nothing for y'all. Remember what he told them when Moshe was like, it's 600,000 footmen plus. Where the quail supposed to come from? Y'all said, is my hand wax short? Doubting is anything I could do? Whatever your wildest imagination dreamer is nothing for him to do that. Cain? Cain. Okay, so multiplication. Totally opposite. All right. We're going to close in prayer. We customarily turn and face the east, but if you're comfortable sitting in your chair as you were, you're fine. You don't have to get on your knees. You don't have to turn and face. You're fine how you are. All right. In the precious shame of Yahshua, Mashiach, our Father, we're so glad for your word going forth. We're so glad, Father, that you give us eyes to see and ears to hear, and even made us literate that we can read your word, Father, and preserve your word, wrote it down, Father, in a book for us to have, Father, even to this day, thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and we're grateful. We thank you, Father, for delivering us here safely. We thank you for putting it on our heart to keep the commandment, to keep the Shabbat holy and come into your house on the day that you set apart from the beginning of time. So we ask you now, Father, please bless our heart and our minds. Teach us how to keep the Shabbat holy. Cause us to delight in the Shabbat. Enter into your gates with praise and thanksgiving. Teach us how to love one another as you have loved us, Father. And we just grateful, Father. Deliver the saints here safely that are pressing their way. Protect our homes and our vehicles, our possessions while we're away from them, Father. And just speak to us, Father, and teach us, Father, how to present our bodies as a living sacrifice in the mighty and precious shame of Yahshua Mashiach, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah. Shabbat is a delight. It's a lot of it. When I ain't gonna lie, when I was at home doing it, I seen it.
Yeah.
But when I got here, it was way more came
Yeah.
than the lessons I seen at home. You know what I'm saying?